good, we are recording. So I thought I would make a video now because this is the stock exhaust and I've got slip-ons coming today, and I've also done I'm guessing about 1,200 kilometers. I'm trying to think how many Ks were on it when I bought it now. I worked it out the other day, but I've done a bit of riding since. But yeah, I'm guessing it'd be somewhere around 1,300 kilometers in roughly 6 weeks. So I'm in the same area as my first video. I was planning on doing the exact same ride, but I'm heading through on my way to a couple of places today, so I just thought this will do the job. And I've also, since I've bought it, I've put a new tyre on the front, which made so much difference because the original one had heaps of dry rot and was like driving on marbles all the time. And also I did have the carbies off and cleaned them, but I still wasn't happy with it, and so I ordered a carby kit, and I did notice that one of the float bowls was weeping, and the new gasket has cleared that up. And I don't know if you can see in the mirror or not, but I've got a different jacket on, and also a set of riding jeans and riding boots, which it's all different pieces to the puzzle, because not only do you need to get used to riding, you have to get used to, like, if you're wearing riding gear, you have to get used to what different riding gear, and the jacket I had just did not breathe nearly enough for weather like this. I've just got the jacket on, I've got nothing under it today. Usually I've got like a mesh t-shirt under it, which is good, but it's quite warm, and it's only 1 in the afternoon or something, so it's still going to warm up a bit. And I thought, I'm going to be out for a little while, so I want to stay cool. And even things like, I'm going to buy another pair of gloves, because I washed these last night because they just got to the point where they just stunk. Because no matter what you do, you sweat when you're riding. And yeah, the bike is running so much nicer since I did the carby kits on it. and it's it actually scared me the first time I rode it after I did it, because it unlocked so much power, and I noticed that the idle jets, I ended up putting the new ones in, but they were just too big. They were 2 jet sizes up, because obviously with the carby kits, some of them are designed for multiple bikes, so it obviously had slightly bigger ones than the factory in mine. So I took them out and really gave the originals a good clean, and anyone, if you're ever rebuilding carby kits, ever rebuilding carbies and trying to unblock jets, if you pull a strand, one single strand out of a wire brush, the wire is the perfect diameter to shove down jets. To really get any little bits of crud out of them. And I'm in no rush, so I'm happy to go a bit slower, because I haven't been down here since ages ago, and I was really uncomfortable riding down here at 80. I didn't get anywhere near 80. I think I was doing probably 60. But the more you just get on the bike, and like for any new riders especially, everything is unnatural because you haven't done it before, and so you just have to get used to doing all the different types of riding. And the more I was watching Bro Hypno from New Zealand, and he was really going through it in one of his last videos, and I completely understand where he's coming from, because there's been multiple moments where I'm like, what on earth am I doing on a motorbike? What am I thinking? Like, this is too much. Especially, you know, when it got to those points where you're just like, I don't have the skills to be doing what I'm trying to do right now. Like, you know, riding down an 80k road the last time I came down here, and you know, I did come down when there wasn't much traffic, and so it was, you know, it was easy for me to just pull over and then wait for no traffic, and it wasn't an issue. But it was, you know, it's finding that balance of where your skills and comfort level are, and knowing how much you can push yourself past that. Because if you're not getting uncomfortable and doing things, you don't know where your limits are. But then there's also, like, you have to be conscious about your own self-awareness, I guess would be the best. Oh, bumpy roads. Yeah, your own self-awareness about your own self-awareness. And like then I knew that I was sitting in someone's blind spot, so my choice was either fall back or get in front, so I chose get in front. You know, and it's just all the little things, and you gotta remember, like, riding is like, you know, if you think about it like a jigsaw puzzle, that you're slowly putting together your riding skill set puzzle, And, you know, every time you ride, just focus on, you know, you can tell what you're good at and what you're not good at, and do a little bit of the things that you're good at, but really try and focus on the things that you struggle with, and the more you do them, the better you get. So it's, you know, I'm always looking on the road as well for different things. Like, I'll wait until I see something and then I'll explain it, just to try and get used to leaning more, and like the light pole shades on the ground. And I mean, like, then I didn't know if there was going to be another car on the other side of the road that was going to try and sneak through, so I knew that there wasn't anyone behind me. Like this, like, try and get close to this, different lines in the road, try and position yourself and get close to them, because the more you do different things like that all the time, the more you learn how to just like finesse. Maneuvering the bike. And one of the biggest things that I struggled with, and I see it a lot with new riders, is as soon as you get uncomfortable, you get tense, and as soon as you get tense, you're not leaning properly, you're not turning properly. And even little things like going over speed bumps and train lines, just, you know, standing on the foot pegs slightly and lifting your butt off the seat, just, you know, all of the little things that you don't know until you know them. And, you know, turning and U-turns, and it just takes time and practice and hours in the seat. And another thing that I've just remembered then is I completely forgotten it already. Yeah, now it's gone. Oh, one thing I did notice the other day is that my speedo seems to be out. Probably, like, I know when I'm sitting in traffic that my speedo typically tells me like that. I knew he wasn't paying attention. Yeah, like now I'm nearly doing 70 on the speedo, but I'm probably doing more around 60. So, because I always used to think, am I just going really slow? But then I realised, no, the speedo's just out a little bit, which is a good thing. I'd rather it be this way than the other way. it would really suck if it was like 10k out the other way. You know, and just get used to making sure you remember to feel how tense you are and relax your grip a little bit, like. It just makes, like, going over bumps and all of the crappy roads that much easier when you're gripping the tank more. Like, just the more you get into the habit of something that I've done is I'm in the habit of, when I get on the bike, I try and get my toes in and then my ankles and then my knees, and then I'm set up pretty good. Because the more you use your legs, the more connected you are to the bike instead of the handlebars, which, you know, all of the bumps you'll get if you're gripping really tight on the handlebars, you're going to feel every bump in the road. You're going to feel every time the front wheel wants to turn a little bit, and it's and your hands are going to get trashed, you know. And just different things like breaking in new gloves and all the things, like, there's so much to get used to. And even clothes, like, as the clothes you wear them, they soften up and they're not as stiff. But the more relaxed you can stay on the bike, the more enjoyable the experience will be. Oh yeah, and especially around traffic, like, you're better off sitting in a slightly lower gear. You know, especially going around intersections that are busy like that one. Just gives you more, like, straight away, it gives you a bit more power to move and maneuver. And like these guys, you can see how bunched up they are, so they're all not going to be paying full attention and impatient. And, you know, like one of my other videos, the more I rode in crap conditions, like I've been out the last few nights, but I think it was like 2 nights ago, it was just blowing an absolute gale, and as soon as I went out I was like, oh, that was one of those, like, what am I doing moments. Like, I was just gonna go home, and I'm like, no, the more I ride it in the uncomfortable conditions, the more comfortable I get, the more I desensitize to the wind and stuff, the more I get better at riding in general. And I mean, now look, like, you know, I'm riding on a main road that only a few weeks ago there's no way I would have been riding with this traffic anyway. Like, and really, you know, owning your position on the road as well. Like you kind of have to pay attention, like where to make yourself known in your lane, but then also, like, you know, like a couple of the experiences just before, knowing that you know, there are people on the road that are only looking for cars, or they're not looking for anything because they're not paying attention, they're too busy on their phone or whatever they're doing. But yeah, this should give you a good idea of the stock exhaust sound today, and I dare say that by the time I get back, I'll have a card in the letterbox saying go and pick up your exhausts. And that's something else that I probably will change, is the one of the sprockets, just to, I mean, it's got plenty of power and torque down the bottom end, so I might just drop a tooth off the front and extend the gears out a little bit. But yeah, just, you know, those moments that you're like, what am I doing? And you want to quit, they're the best breakdown moments before the breakthrough. Because, you know, like 2 nights ago, or even 2 days ago, I wasn't comfortable really even considering riding down here. I knew that I'd get to the point that it'd be like, yep, I'm ready to, you know, ride in whatever. I'm still not comfortable pushing myself to go to 100. I want my skills to improve a bit more before I increase that speed. And as well, like, the more you move around a little bit, like, you know, dodging manhole covers and all of the dodgy roads, it just helps to increase people's awareness of you and see you a little bit more too. Anyway, I'm gonna have to find a spot to pull over because I need to look up directions for where I'm actually going now. So I hope this is useful, and most importantly, just encouraging to push through the hard stuff and the moments where you're like, I suck at this, and just remember, like, especially riding, like if you've got to the point where you're hitting those points, like you're doing more than not riding. So, you know, it's a massive steep learning curve initially to get used to riding and everything to do with it. But then once you've got over that initial, like, everything is so challenging, then, you know, you find different things that you're like, oh, this is a lot easier now. Like, I've done it so much. And, you know, like, I used to hate riding in the wind and leaning right, where I've done so much of both that I'm nowhere near as scared to lean right anymore. Like, there are moments where, especially if I think about it, I kind of like freak myself out a little bit. But yeah, the more I don't think about it and just feel, like, ride by feel, it's a lot easier and a lot less stressful. Anyway, I'll leave you with that, and I'm going to go and look up some directions now. Anyway, I hope you have an incredible day, and thanks for watching, and yeah, big shout out to Bro Hypno if you do happen to watch this, because yeah, your videos are great. And just, yeah, keep going with the U-turns and the things that you're struggling with, and you'll get through that next assessment, no dramas. It's, yeah, there's no point beating yourself up. Like, it's already been there, and like, you've already been through it, and now you can just wait until the next time, and you'll pass it flying colours, because you know what you're up for as well. So anyway, have an awesome day, and I will be back shortly.